Welcome back to another
G-Shot reaction.
And for you, the one who's watching me right now,
Yeah, you.
I really mean that. Thank you. Because you took time out of your life to see what I'm reacting to on YouTube. And that's all good. I appreciate it. I feel the love. But like I always say, I'm finna get right to it. So, let's mother do it.
If you've heard of the ancient Sumerians before, buckle up because you're in for a wild ride. If you haven't heard about them, buckle up
we talking about the
you're in for a
Sumerians
wild
today.
ride. Starting us
Y'all
off
know
today, I want to talk a little bit about who the
Egypt.
Sumerian people were and how they came to be, although for the
I
most
really
part,
think
it
I'm from
really
there.
is a mystery. Because of the discourse surrounding the Sumerian people, they have often been referred to as the Sumerian problem, which is kind of mean, but it makes sense because the civilization is confusing. According to the majority of researchers, Sumer, the land of the Sumerian people, which resided in what is now
Can you imagine living back in this time, right now? What you think you'll probably be doing? What your job would be if you was living in the time of the Sumerians? Somebody leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think your
Iraq
job
was
would be.
first settled by humans sometime between 4500 to 400 BC. Based on Sumerian literature, it is likely they arrived from the south after having traveled through the Persian Gulf. The early settlers of the land were experts in farming, raising cattle, weaving textiles, carpentry, poetry, and even brewing beer. By 3000 BC, the advanced civilization took full control over the area, and by 2800 BC, it reached its peak population between 40,000 and 80,000 people, all living within the city's 6 miles of defensive walls. It is believed that the Sumerian civilization invented the pyramids, the wheel, script, arithmetic, geometry, irrigation.
How the hell they figured out all this shit? Well, you had to do some major researching. Major researching. To figure out all this happened 80,000 years ago.
Saws and other tools, candles, chariots, harpoons, and of course, beer. Now, a lot of people wonder how the Sumerian people could have possibly been so incredibly advanced, and how they could have alone created the majority of concepts that have allowed societies to function and thrive to this day. Because if the history is true, without the influence of the Sumerian people, we probably wouldn't be here. So how the heck did they do it? Well, there's a theory, but I'm not sure how many of you are going to like it, and how many of you actually clicked on this video to talk about the very thing. It's the Anunnaki, which some people believe to be a group of otherworldly deities that look and sound like you and I, but carry a much higher level of intelligence.
Oh yeah. I believe that. Billy Carson talk about that all the time. If y'all don't know who Billy Carson is, go follow him.
And it is also believed that they came to Earth from the Pleiades star cluster, enslaved and altered the DNA of the Sumerian people so that they may achieve a higher level of intelligence in order to properly serve the Anunnaki on Earth, but not a level of intelligence so high that it would allow the Sumerians to surpass the knowledge of the Anunnaki themselves. And furthermore, when the Anunnaki were done using the Sumerian people, they lowered human intelligence, enough to keep us smart, but just enough so that we would no longer be able to comprehend their existence. Now, whether or not you believe that is up to you, but let's get into why people think the Anunnaki exist. In Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki are mentioned constantly, and are constantly given credit for the people of Sumeria's vast wealth of advanced knowledge. They're often referred to as gods, and have been given names such as Enki, Nana, Utu, and Inanna. Enki being the most prominent figure, the god of air, who is said to have separated heaven and earth. Collectively, the Anunnaki decided the fates of human beings. Initially, they were associated with the heavens, but as time went on, they became more and more intermingled with the affairs of earth. Other texts, however, portray the Anunnaki as the gods of the underworld who judge the dead. And it's also believed that Amun-Ra, a god worshipped in Egypt, was an Anunnaki as well, which would make sense given the similarities between the two civilizations, their infrastructure, and their architectural feats. For a more in-depth description of the Anunnaki's history and a complete deep dive into the conspiracy that they are alien beings that created the Earth in their image through the alteration of human DNA and consciousness, you're gonna want to check out Billy Carson, but after this video, of course, because you've got to learn a bit more about the Sumerians before you do. Alright, so now that we've got the background down, let's talk about the achievements, specifically the achievement of the construction of the Great Ziggurat, one of the first, if not the first pyramid to ever exist. Although it looks much more like a fort than a pyramid due to erosion over time, the Ziggurat...
You think they were worried about BBLs back then? I don't think they were too worried about no BBL back then.
Is still the most distinctive architectural invention of the ancient Near East. It has four sides that rise up to symbolize rising to the realm of the gods, just like pyramids built by ancient Egyptians and by the Aztecs and the Mayans. There are actually multiple ziggurats.
Hey ladies, why y'all need a BBL so bad? Women 3,000 years ago didn't care nothing about that. I wonder what happened. What changed? What made y'all care how big y'all ass was?
Scattered around what was once ancient Sumeria, now Iraq and Iran, in incredible condition, a testament to the craftsmanship and capabilities of the ancient civilization. The structures were likely built to be temples, but how they were crafted in a time that predates the construction of the...
I just got off all topics. We supposed to be talking about Sumerians. I'm talking about, man, don't care how big your ass is and them facts.
The Egyptian pyramids, another major mystery. It's beyond scientific, archaeological, and historical comprehension. Unless, of course, they had help from the Anunnaki, perhaps. See? Now I'm convincing you. As I mentioned, the Great Ziggurat, or the Ziggurat of Ur, was built as a temple, but not just any temple, a temple for the moon goddess Nana, whom I previously mentioned. It was built around 2100
Think they used to sell drugs back in the Sumerian time?
What did you have to offer me for my crack, my friend?
I wonder what kind of drugs they used to sell. Somebody leave a comment down below. Tell me what type of drugs you think they sold back in the Sumerian days.
BCE by King Ur-Nami of the 3rd dynasty of Ur for Nana, the divine patron of the city-state. The structure is visible for miles. It was the highest point in the city, necessary if it were to reach the gods, or if you're team Anunnaki, necessary because Nana demanded it. It is believed that the temple was used as a place for both spiritual and physical nourishment. Surplus crops and food would be brought to the temple for those in need, and communities would gather in spiritual worship of their many gods or
what made
other
him
worldly
use
rulers.
stone?
As I said, the top of the Ziggurat of Ur
this
unfortunately did not survive, but the bottom
everything.
remains fully intact with walls equipped with vents that allow moisture from the interior of the structure to be evaporated from the temple during wet seasons, and terrace floors fitted with drains to carry away water during the rainy winter months. It's super advanced and it's super cool. Moving on from the Ziggurats, I want to talk about the Sumerian king list, also referred to as the Chronicle of the One Monarchy. It's an ancient list carved into clay tablets containing names, places, important dates, and exploits. It's also a bit of a mystery. Many historians believe that the purpose of the list was to legitimize rulers in the various cities of Sumeria during the late 3rd and early 2nd millennium BC. The list also speaks of important historical events that had a large impact on the Sumerian people, including the Great Flood of Gilgamesh, which I will get to later. Unfortunately, much of the text is missing, as the entirety of the king list has yet to be found, and so there are many secrets still hiding within the script that have yet to be deciphered, found, or revealed. So yes, the majority is yet to be found, but what was found was a pattern. The majority...
Whose idea was it really just to write everything on the wall? Who made that decision? Y'all ever thought of that? Who made that decision? Put everything on the wall. Everything.
Of the rulers listed are male, which makes sense. I mean, it's called the King Script, and it was written sometime between 4500 and 2000 BC. There is, of course, one standout. The queen. One queen, the only queen as far as we know, Queen Hubaba. and she is said to have ruled Kish, a city in Sumeria, for 100 years during its third and last dynasty, likely sometime around the 25th century BCE. So not only was the Sumerian civilization as a whole highly advanced, apparently, their women lived incredibly long and prosperous lives as well. According to ancient scripts, Sumeria under the rule of Kubaba was peaceful and prosperous. Here's the thing. The mention of Kubaba on the king list questions the authenticity of the entire thing because it's unclear whether or not Queen Kubaba was a real person, worshipped like a god, or if she actually was a god. Or, you know, Anunnaki. Another important artifact found in what was once ancient Sumeria are the Sumerian seals or cylinders, small cylindrical objects carved with images in reverse, hung on strings of fiber and leather and likely worn around the neck or wrist, and likely used to authenticate documents. It is believed that each seal was only ever used by one person. When a document required a signature, a seal would be rolled across a slab of clay to signify the agreement of whomever was in possession of the tool. While this is all good and well, there is another theory about what the seals might have been used for, one with a little more whimsy. Some seals are said to have held great magic and power because of their intricate beauty and delicate creation. They were intricate murals carved on small pieces of semi-precious stones such as agate, lapis lazuli, statite, limestone, marble, quartz, serpentine, hematite, and jasper, with prominent members of society receiving seals carved into silver and gold. Could Sumerians have been the first to create true document authentication? Possibly, or were they just carrying around little magic amulets? Who really knows? Alright, next up, the Sumerian history, as described by their ancient texts, holds some striking similarities to the history of Christianity. In Christian scripts, Genesis 6-9, God decides to bring about a great flood that will destroy all life on earth in an effort to rid humanity of its wickedness. However, he spares the life of the righteous Noah, Noah's family, and 2 of every kind of creature, so that the earth may one day be repopulated. After the flood, Noah sends out birds to see if it is safe to leave the boat. Scripts written out on Sumerian tablets tell an incredibly similar story. It's the epic of Gilgamesh, in which the main character Gilgamesh is given an account of the great flood from his ancestor Utnapishtim, who was instructed by the gods to build a boat and save both his life and the lives of his families, as well as animals from the flood. After the flood, Utnapishtim sends out birds to see if it is safe to leave the boat. The similarities are too much to ignore, but what does it mean? Was there really a great flood? Or was Christianity actually influenced by the mythology of the Sumerian people? There's really no way to know, but it's a super interesting concept. You know what else we have no way of knowing? Why or how the Sumerian civilization ended. There is a lot of controversy regarding the theories as to what brought the empire to its knees and the Sumerian people to an end after centuries of ruling the lands of Mesopotamia and cultivating abundant and advanced societies. But I will tell you the main 4 theories. 1, that their irrigation system, which diverted rivers inland to irrigate soil, destroyed their crops because the rivers carried harmful salts and other mineral matter that made soil too acidic and caused their crops to die. Thus, they had to disband. 2, that the river used to irrigate the soil dried up and caused the economy to fall and eventually collapse. 3, in 2004 BC, the Elamites stormed Ur and took control of the capital, during which time Amorites began replacing the Sumerian population and the Babylonian Empire was formed. And 4, a combination of all 3. Of course, however, there is another theory that is not so well received in the historical field, but might be well received by many of you, and that is that the Anunnaki was done with the Sumerians, for they had served them as much as they could, and so these otherworldly beings dumped the people of Sumeria and left them and their empire behind to crumble, and the existence of the Anunnaki to be forgotten. Until now, that is. Alright, you guys, that was a super interesting video to do. I've been hearing a lot about the Anunnaki recently. I had done some research on them before this, but getting into it was really cool. If I missed anything, if you have any points that you'd like to share, let's get a discussion going in the comments. I will be sure to check them out. I've been your host, Hannah Thompson, and I look forward to seeing you. You can stay if you want to stay, whoever builds the time machine, but I don't want to stay. That's crazy.
3,000 years ago, they probably selling all type of. In fact, I wonder how much it costs. One chicken. But anyway, I appreciate whoever stayed and watched my reaction to the Sumerian video, Mysterious Holes Discovered. Well, the ancient Sumerian mysteries that may never be explained. I appreciate those who stayed and watched. I appreciate these 10 minutes you gave me, and I thank you. I really do thank you. So guess what? I'll be back tomorrow with another video, and I'm gonna appreciate you then for watching out. But right now, I'm about to get up out of here because I got old boy in the bathroom painting right now. Yeah, I'm recording and getting a paint job at the same time at the house. So I'll get back with y'all tomorrow, but I might drop 2 videos today, depending on how I feel. I just came from outside and you know what I was doing. So until then, I'll see you.